Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sascha Fahrbach. After 16 years of Viktor Orbán's rule, Hungary is witnessing a rapid and highly symbolic political transition, with Péter Magyar being sworn in during what supporters are openly calling a regime change. From the return of the EU flag outside Parliament to promises of recovering allegedly stolen state assets, much is expected of the new government in the heart of Europe. And joining us now to discuss the significance of the day is István Hegedűs, chairman of the Hungarian Europe Society. Welcome back. Good to have you with us.
Thank you. Good morning.
István, just let's go back for a moment and just talk about this day and also that power shift of a party that barely existed 2 years ago, TISA, in now a supermajority in Parliament. Just tell us of the meaning and symbolism and also the significance of this day today.
It's very significant. There is still a mood of optimism all around in Hungary that the defeat of Orbán means the end of an era and then the end of a regime. And as you said, we call it regime change because all the institutions and the political culture should be renewed. The defeat was marvelous in the eyes of many citizens, and it's an overwhelming majority what the new party, the new government has received, which is a very colorful government, including some women, which is very new, and also the Speaker of the House will be a woman, and also the leader of the parliamentarian group of TISA party will be a woman. And in general, the government is not only containing right-wing personalities or technocrats, but some liberals, and maybe its program is a mixture of left-wing, liberal, centrist, and some right-wing, moderate right-wing political ideas. So it's a real renewal spiritually and symbolically. And yes, it's very important that the European flag will be hanged on the parliament after so many years, which shows that Hungary wants to belong to Europe again fully and with its heart. So I think it's symbolic for everyone. And even since the election day on the 12th of April, the support to the government has increased, and the defeat of Fidesz seems to be even more deeper than anyone believed a month ago.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps it's a simple answer, but nevertheless, you mentioned as well that the European flag returning to Parliament, that's going to be a visible symbol. You have the anthem, you have the national anthem of Hungary. What kind of message do you think is he trying to say? Is Péter Magyar now going to be Prime Minister later this afternoon? What is he sending out to Hungarians in the world?
It's a signal that Hungary will stop behaving like an elephant in the room, trying to veto everything what is on the agenda, especially when it's about Russia. And of course, internationally, it's very important that Hungary will not be seen anymore as someone who follows the propaganda of the Kremlin, and it's not in alliance with Vladimir Putin anymore, but it belongs to the European family. And I think this is the aim of the new foreign minister, for example, Anita Orbán, who is not a relative to Viktor Orbán, another woman in the government who will be actually the deputy prime minister. It's another sign that Hungary has been modernized in a way after the ultra-conservative regime of Orbán. I think it's clear for everyone that we shouldn't wait for another, Fidesz light, as some people say, that things will go on exactly the same way, just the opposite. The defeat of Orbán is so deep that many entrepreneurs, many media personalities came out, skeletons are falling out of the closet everywhere. Economic issues have become disputed everywhere because there has been corruption so deep in the country. So I think it's a new start, also domestically and internationally.
Mm-hmm. Now, interesting there is when you said that Orbán's defeat is very, very deep. Also his influence over 16 years, I mean, that is also very much in the depth of society in different areas, in businesses, government, you name it. Looking also what we've heard, looking at various allegations that are coming forward, how quickly can Hungarians really count on accountability, these processes of holding those people to account? How long will this take, you think?
That's a big question, how fast Péter Magyar's government or the judiciary system can work, whether there are real accusations and charges which mean that people go to court following the rule of law. Of course, it should not be done with violence or by political pressure, and that's what Magyar is talking about. But at the moment, it seems that even, as I said, some entrepreneurs already have admitted what they have done, maybe with pain. Another guy even cried in front of the cameras. So this process might be, again, much faster than anyone believed. And of course, Magyar has to be fast because the political climate might change. The honeymoon period can evaporate in a couple of weeks or months. The opposition might become stronger one day when the economic situation is not getting better fast, and that's very unlikely that it will because of the problems of the Hungarian economy, huge deficit because of the spending of the previous government. So yes, Magyar has to be very fast. How successful it will be, just like in Poland, or nothing happens, or some ministers may emigrate or go to Dubai, as the former president of the National Bank has disappeared from Hungary and Budapest, whether he can be brought back and go to court. These are the big issues. We don't know yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also about the economic pain that you mentioned already. I know that Péter Magyar was already in Brussels when he wasn't sworn in yet. There's a lot of EU funds that are supposed to be unlocked quickly. That's the hope. How much do you think this will assist in those economic pains that Hungary is facing right now?
It would help a lot. First of all, trust and the economic climate might change whenever investors or potential investors see that the government put Hungary and the Hungarian economy on a new track once again, and there is a good relationship with the European Commission, with Brussels in general, and the money flows into Hungary. Maybe Péter Magyar and his government would not receive all the resources what Hungarians hope and what he promised to bring back home, as he said. But the big part of it can be brought home, and the conditions are not, problematic because these are rule of law conditions. It's a technical, procedural issue as well, how fast these new laws can be approved by the Hungarian parliament. And Magyar already told the new members of parliament that they should not go on holidays. They should stay and work, and new laws will be prepared very fast. How much they can influence the real, economic issues and whether that will be enough for the European Commission just to approve the laws, but they cannot work so fast. And because the Polish experience was not so good regarding new laws and whether they can be implemented so fast. So maybe some money will be lost, but the bigger part hopefully can come back to Hungary as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think also talking about this today and also in previous days, we keep coming back to the word of timing. It has to be done fast and quickly. This man will hit the ground running as new prime minister. Let's also talk about something in terms of Russia. I mean, this is something that Viktor Orbán very much direct line to Moscow. This is one of the things that unseated him. That changes well now with Péter Magyar, but also the energy links. I think even right now, Péter Magyar said for the time being, the near future, we still need that Russian energy. How quickly can he change that element?
I think the intention is very clear again. How fast the real change can happen, it might take months or a year or so. Actually, because of the decision of the European Commission and the European Council, you have to do it anyway. So it's not fake news that Hungary has to use different sources of energy supplies, including the United States, which actually declared that it's happy about the change regarding energy supplies coming from the United States in the near future. How fast it can happen, it's a technical issue as well. But it's evident that this dependence on Russia might disappear very soon. And of course, the political special relationship will disappear. All sort of Russian propaganda or propaganda which follow Russian fake news has already disappeared, even in the pro-governmental media. I mean, the media which was loyal to the Orbán regime has changed its tone. Even some big TV channels like the commercial TV, TV2, decided to skip its news propaganda, and it will have a new brand, as it is said. So in general, Russian influence in Hungary might totally disappear at the end. That's our hope. And the relationship with Ukraine might be much better just in a couple of weeks or months. There is a hope that there will be a meeting between Magyar and Zelensky very soon, maybe in Ukraine somewhere, talking also about the problems of the Hungarian minorities, but focusing on the joint European position by Péter Magyar.
Mm-hmm. And on that European position, I mean, it's auspicious today is May 9th, Europe Day as well. I mean, that takes on a particular significance, I think, especially for Hungarians, well, for all Europeans. But how does that also, let's say, impact today's inauguration and celebrations?
Very much, because Magyar's communication is totally different from Orbán's. You know, he uses social media in a very professional way. He reports himself. When he went to see Giorgia Meloni a couple of days ago in Italy, he reported himself the news, and people love it and follow it. It's so different from Orbán's method, how he made interviews in the last years, and you could not see him in person. So today there will be a celebration on the Kossuth Lajos Square in front of the parliament with concerts and events. And I think this positive mood, this optimism is still there. You know, it will be a very important day. And again, many people call it a regime change. And we will see whether in the next months the parliament will be able to change the system, destruct it, and reconstruct liberal democracy in Hungary. But this is a very important day today, and many young people who actually voted in big numbers for Magyar, you know, in that age group, Fidesz got less than 20%. So I think there will be a lot of young people celebrating once again the end of the old regime and hoping for the new one.
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, high expectations, but I think a very, very positive mood there today. That square is going to be probably filled with people. Very happy indeed. Look, thanks so much for all that. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. István Hegedűs, there, Chairman of the Hungarian Europe Society. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the interview. Bye-bye.
And thank you for watching. That concludes World Talks, but stay right here on TVP World for more. Goodbye.